if you're wanting to put a lead capture form on your website or landing page and capture your visitor's email and actually send that email to an email list, then you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Kyle Johnson from escapingthenorm.com, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to build a simple lead capture form with the Elementor form builder. I'm also going to be showing you how to integrate it with your email automation software. In this tutorial I'm going to be specifically using GetResponse, but most of them work pretty much the same, and we'll be using the API to actually send the email that was captured to the email list in GetResponse. And then from there, you can do whatever you want with the leads you've captured. Typically you send them either broadcast emails or you send them through some type of automation sequence. And for today's example, I've built a simple landing page that has a lead capture form on it, and we're going to be building that. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. Okay, so here is the landing page, and as you can see, there's headlines right here that have catchy phrases that people would be interested in, and then you have more of a description and a picture. It's a mock-up of the ebook that I'm giving away for this page, and then there's some urgency. I've got this headline right here saying that the price will be $49.99, but right now it's free and there's this much time left, so I've got this little countdown timer right here. And then finally I have the lead capture form, and all this one is, you just put your name and email in there, and when you put your name and email in there, it'll actually send that name and email through the GetResponse API into the email list that you specify, so you can choose whatever email list you want. Now in this tutorial we're not going to be covering how to build the landing page, but if you're interested in something like that, let me know down in the comments, and also make sure you subscribe if you want to see future content like that, because I'm fixing to come out with it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and build this thing. Okay, I'm at my WordPress dashboard, and so I'm going to go to pages since I've already built this page, and the page is called opt-in. So I'm going to right click edit with Elementor and open that in a new tab. That way I still have my dashboard open, and here's the page. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to where the form is, and so I'm going to delete this form. So I'm going to just hover over this, click delete. This way we can start from scratch. And so the first thing you're going to need is to come over here into the search and type form. Now the form builder is only available in Elementor Pro, so if you don't have Elementor Pro yet and you want to get it, it's a really great deal. It has a bunch of powerful tools in it. Go ahead and click the link in the description. It'll be down there, and that will actually bring you to the page where you can purchase it. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and click and drag this form over here into this section, and as you can see, this is like a regular contact form. Now ours is going to be similar to this, but not exactly. So I'm going to click on this little pencil icon, and then I'm going to come over here. We're not going to need message, so I'm going to just hit this X to exit out. And then now all we have is name and email. So the first thing I'm going to do for this is I'm going to remove the labels, which is the text right here above, because we already have the placeholder right there, and I don't want the label for this one. I want to make it look a little simpler. So I'm going to come over here under name. I'm going to click on this, and then where it says label, I'm going to go ahead and just delete that, and then it's going to get rid of that label. And then I'm going to do the same for email, so I'm going to collapse that and then click email, and then where it says label, I'm going to just highlight that and delete that. So now we just have the placeholder inside of the input, and so I want to make these side by side. So the way you do that, I'm going to go to this first one first, and this is the name. And so what you want to do is go over here under column width and then select 50%. You can select whatever percentage you want, but I'm just doing 50 because I want it 50-50. So name is 50% wide. I'm going to collapse that, and then I'm going to go to the email one. So I'm going to click on this one, and then I'm also going to make this one 50% width. And as you can see, they both slid right next to each other, so now they're in line. So I'm going to actually change the placeholder inside of these. So for the name, I'm going to come up here, and where it says placeholder, I'm going to just put your name ... And then for the email, I'm going to do your email. So I'm going to type your email like so, and that makes it look a little bit nicer. And so the next thing I'm going to do is modify the button. So let's go ahead and change the text on it. I don't want it to say send I want it to say send it to me now. So I'm gonna come back over here, I'm gonna scroll down, and where it says buttons, I'm gonna click on this to expand this, and right under here where it says submit, this is where you change the name, like the text that'll show up in the button. So I'm gonna highlight this, delete it, and then I'm gonna just put send it to me now, and don't forget the double exclamation, but that's just preference of mine. Anyways, I want to make this text bigger, so what I'm gonna do is come over to style, and then I'm going to scroll down to where it says buttons, click on that, and then typography, and I'm going to increase the size of this button text, and that looks about right. Okay, now I want to change the text color to black, so I'm going to come over here to text color, and I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to drag this to where it's black, like so, and then I want to actually put an icon on the right side, and so I'm going to come back over here to content, scroll down to buttons, and then I'm going to click this icon library under where it says icon, and this is going to bring up the library, and so there's a bunch of different icons in here, and you can search for them by name. The one I want to use is under mail, so I'm going to click this and then click insert, and it automatically inserts the icon. However, you notice it's on the wrong side. I want it to be on the right side, so you come back over here under icon position, and you can put after, and it'll show up on the right side, so you can make it show up on the left or the right side. And then the icon spacing is how far it is from the text, so I'm going to go ahead and make it about 15, like that. And then now I want to change the background color of the button and the hover color of the button. So I want to make the background color for the button in its normal state orange, and then when you hover over it, black. And then I'm going to alternate the text color also. So I'm going to scroll down where it says buttons again, and then I'm going to go to background color, select this, and then I'm going to choose an orange. I usually like putting orange on my landing page buttons, and that looks about right. And so I'm going to click that just to get rid of it. And so the black on orange looks good, but the white on orange doesn't really look good. I'm going to leave the text white on hover, and when I hover over it, I want the background to turn black. So I'm going to go over here to hover and click this, and then I'm going to change the background color, and I'm going to make it a pretty dark black, but not like a solid black. So as you can see now, when I hover over it, it's black. Okay, and so like to make it blend in even more with the inputs that are above, like where you put your name and email, I want to make these have square corners on the button. So I'm going to come over here to border radius, and I'm going to just click up. And so as you can see, that turned it to a square, and I want to give it a value of 5, so it'll be 5 pixels. As you can see, it gets more rounded the higher you go in your numbers, but I want to do 5, and this way it looks really nice and clean, because the circular one just doesn't look that great on this page. But you know, it's up to you how you want it to look. And then last thing, I want to change the border radius of these inputs, so to make the corners a little bit more rounded. So I'm going to come over here to field, I'm going to click on this, and then border radius, I'm going to just change this to 5 as well, and that looks pretty nice, that looks pretty clean. So now it's actually time to talk about hooking this up to GetResponse, you know, through the API. So I'm going to come back over here, and the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to remove the email option. So I'm going to come back over to content, scroll down, and I'm going to click actions after submit. As you can see, there's 2 of them that are in there, and I don't want either of those. I don't want it to go to the submission, the Elementor submission, and I also don't want it to be sent to my email. I just want this email to go from here into my email list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click X on each of these, and now there's no actions after submit, so we'll have to add one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to click on GetResponse. And as you can see, GetResponse shows up, and I'm going to click on this. Now, if you haven't integrated GetResponse with WordPress just yet, I made a previous video on this, and so if you want to watch that, go ahead and click here now. It covers how you integrate GetResponse with WordPress with the GetResponse plugin and the API key that you generate with GetResponse. Super simple, so if you want, go ahead and watch that video. But normally what this part right here does under GetResponse, it usually loads automatically the API key. That's the default in the GetResponse plugin, but I believe that it has a bug right now because it's not working. working right, and so it just keeps spinning and spinning. So what you want to do is come over to your Get Response account and then click on Menu and Integrations and API, and then API, and then just go ahead and copy that API key again, because you'll just have to load it in there manually since it seems like there's some kind of a bug with Get Response or the plugin or WordPress or something. So I'm gonna come back over here, and instead of having default, yours may load, let it go for a little bit, but if it doesn't, do this. So I'm gonna click on this and click custom, and then I'm gonna paste that API key in there, and it should load now. Okay, as you can see, it loaded, and it says select. So basically I'm going to select one of my email lists, and for this I'm going to just select test list right there, and then day of cycle. That's if you have an autoresponder. Typically what you want to do is put day 0, because that's the very first day. That's how autoresponders start. So like if you put day 0, the instant that the email goes into the email list and there's an autoresponder for that email list, on day 0 it will send the ebook. You don't want it to send the ebook a day later. If you put day 1 under this, that would be like a day later. So if you want it to send instantly, put day 0. That's what I recommend. And so if we come back up here to actions after submit, we just have Get Response. So that's what I want. I don't want an email being sent. Okay, and after you've entered all this information, the next thing is field mapping. And so basically this is mapping each form field to the fields that exist in your email list. Email is the only required one. So if you click on this, field 2 is the email. So if you come back up here and you go to form fields, and this is field number 2. If it still had a label on it, it would be labeled email, but since we took it off, it just says item number 2. And as you can see, this is the email input, so it'd be this one. And so if we come back down here to Get Response, you just basically want to make sure that whatever input is for the email is selected under email. And then if you want to include the name, which I suggest, go ahead and click field number 1, because field number 1 is the name. And so that's the only 2 that you really need, in my opinion. But there's also a whole bunch of other ones that you can do as well. So at this point, we're really done. And all we have to do is test it just to make sure it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and click update to make the changes live, and then I'm gonna just open up an incognito window, and I'm gonna put my address to the opt-in page, which is right there, and we'll go to it. And now it's loaded, so I'm going to scroll down, and there's our form again. And so we're actually going to test it. So before I test that, I'm going to come over to my Get Response account, and I'm going to click on List. And this is the one that we selected to send it to, so I'm going to click on this list. As you can see, there's nothing in it. So we're going to come back over to our opt-in page, and we're going to fill it out and see if it actually shows up in there. And then this will verify that the API is actually working correctly, and then you can actually deploy this. So I'm going to put my name and then my email, and then I'm going to click send it to me now. Now this isn't actually hooked up to an autoresponder, so I won't actually get anything in my email, but let's go ahead and go back over to Get Response and refresh to see if it actually showed up. And as you can see, it showed up, so that's good news. Our API is working correctly. So that's literally it. I mean, it's that simple to make a lead capture form and actually integrate it with an email automation software. Now, Get Response is super easy to integrate with WordPress and a whole bunch of other services. They have a bunch of great forms, landing pages, etc. So if you're looking for a really great email automation software that has like a landing page builder, form builder, webinar builder, all kinds of stuff in it, you can get a 30-day free trial if you want. The link's down in the description, and that'll take you to the sign up page. So now you can take your lead capture form, put it on any page on your website or landing page, and actually collect your visitors' emails. So that's going to do it for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already and you want to see more videos like this, like when I start to make videos on how to build landing pages, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'll get notified when I actually come out with them. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.